spending all my money on Magic Games, as I like to call it. Me paying for the college education of most of the Wizard staff and their children. You're welcome. I appreciate it. Is this the mic we're using? I guess we'll find out in a second. Let's close that. Hi, Lando. What's happening? So, we got a Foundations collector box. We have a Jumpstart box over here, too, which is going in the cube afterwards, but yeah. Those I'm going to open later, but I want to open these collector packs, so that's what's happening. I think I got this all updated. That's all over there. Got chat up over here, got chat up over there. Look at this little baby tiny bones. He's a little dice bag. I am a sucker for Magic the Gathering. uh, well, everything. But you can fit dice in him, and he's got a little thing on his head, so I can hook him to my backpack. I'm excited to use him for next convention. I don't know if I'll take him to PAX with me. I'll probably just take him. Hi, Lando. What's happening? You coming through? Cool. You don't need this tag on you anymore. You're mine now. This tag is really heavy-duty paper. It's like a really nice business card paper this receipt is on. Let's throw this out of the way. So, Foundations. Basically the return of the core set, which I am happy about because we needed core sets. Yeah, it sucked not having them around. Let's see if I can actually open this without scissors. I just had my nails cut, so. So, we used to have core sets until 2021, and then they stopped doing core sets. And teaching Magic through Commander is not a smart way to do things. It's just too much information thrown at somebody. So, like, anytime I ever teach Magic, I have like 60 card decks that I've built that are easy to explain and easy to get through to people that are just starting out. You're not throwing 1,000 keywords, and Magic is the most difficult game in the world. Like, everything you do changes the game. So, like, you can't really. You're just throwing somebody in the deep end trying to teach them through Commander, let alone if you're doing like 4-player EDH games. Like if it's not even one-on-one, you're just like, yeah, okay, we're gonna play with these other people too, and they're all gonna be playing different things. So apparently this is gonna be around for like 5 years, maybe more. I don't know an exact date, but it's basically a base set for them to work around with the expansions that are coming out. Or 6 expansions, something like that. 3 Magic ones and 3 Universe Beyond ones, I think is what they were saying. Which, Final Fantasy and Spider-Man next year. I'm so excited about it. But, yeah, let's do some opening of cards. And actually, you know what? Let's zoom in on the wonderful camera over here. What is this? I'm hosting. That's the one I want. Make sure I actually use the right camera. Spell table board. A configure video. A zoomy zoom zoom. Zoom zoom. There we go. Excellent. We don't need to see. He still wants to be part of the show though, so he's gonna hang out over here. Foundations. Let's open some packs. I'm done talking. So, I started Magic 30 years ago. Guys, I'm so old. 30 years ago, I originally started with well, it was like the tail end of the Dark and Unlimited at the time. I think Fallen Empires was coming out next. It was a time. It was a wild time. I wish I would have started further into. Oh, everything gonna be backwards again? Ugh, I hate when they do this. Some packs, all the rares are in the back. Some packs, everything's in the front, and it depends on the printing place, and it's annoying, especially making content. And if you don't know whether they're in the front and the back, the first pack always gets ruined. It always disappoints me. So a Sower of Chaos makes it so you can target creature can't block this turn, which is kind of cool because you can do it to any creature. And I am all about sowing chaos. What do we got here? A Mocking Sprite, which is a reprint. Sower of Chaos I don't think is a reprint. I think that's actually a new card. I know this is not a new card. Do you like my instants and sorceries not costing as much though? That's always good times. This dinosaur is also new. Armasaur Guide. Vigilance, and whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Yes. So, I had a full set of the Dark at one point. I used to try to collect the full sets of the cards, but, like, finding singles and stuff when I was younger was a pain in the butt, unless you went to, like, a swap meet, or you couldn't just order cards. Goblin Surprise. So, you trade with friends, or trade at card conventions, which were usually mostly sports cards at the time, which that's what I originally started playing with card games. Before card games was sports cards. I started with like baseball cards, and then basketball cards, and then hockey cards, and then after that Marvel cards. And then after the Marvel superhero cards, then I just kind of stumbled upon Magic. There was a sports card vendor in our little swap meet thingy that we would have on weekends on base when we were living in Germany, and they just happened to have Magic cards, and they were like 10 cents a piece, and the art was really cool, and I was all about buying things for art references and things for my comic books, and so I was like, oh, these are really cool. I was like, I want to draw this stuff. And I think most of them were all black cards, like Pestilence and Plague Rats, and there's a couple of Urg Raiders. It's terrible. I can still remember the cards that I bought. I only had like $1 or something, and like they were like 10 cents a piece, so I bought like a couple of cards. Then I went to school the next day and was like, "Hey, look at these cool cards I found." I didn't realize they were a game at the time. And then I think I saw them in like Wizard magazine or something. They mentioned Magic, and I was like, "Oh, it's a game." And then I was like, "I want to play this game. I want more cards." So then I ended up having to search for a card store, and we were in Germany at the time. I ended up finding one off base that actually did have starter decks. And we'll continue this story after I show more cards. Tywin's Elite. More elves. I do like that we got so many new cats, which I'm pretty excited about. Arcane Epiphany. Cost 1 less to cast if you control a wizard. Draw a card. Arbiter of Woe. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I like making people discard things. Ugh, I used to. I was such a dick when I was a kid. My decks were not fun to play against. I sit there and I look back. I was like, that's probably why my brother doesn't like to play with me, and that's probably why my partner doesn't like to play with me. Vengeful Blood Witch, Vampire Warlock. That's just another blood artist. I can always use more blood artists. I might actually have to make space for that in Volgavoth. Okay, we're finally to the rare cards. We got a forest, which these lands are really pretty. These are the Vivian forests. We have a Mossborn Hydra. Trample, Elemental Hydra. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it, and then has Landfall, Whenever a land you control enters, double the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. Excellent. That's gross. Draycatcher. Vigilance and Prowess. Oh, I love me some Prowess. Don't think I saw this card. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many incubation counters on it. Remove 3 incubation counters from this creature. Create a 2/2 blue drake creature with flying. I don't mind if I do. Also, Draycatcher. Just in case you didn't have enough Draycatchers, here's another Draycatcher. Human Wizard. I do like Prowess, though. I do like Prowess. And you put that many incubation counters, so I guess the stronger it is, the faster, more drakes you'll make faster. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. The mythic, flying, death touch. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Hey, hey, hey. And a Spinner of Souls. It's a Spider Spirit for 3. Reach. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's interesting. You only get... I did get 5 rares. It was just because I got those 2 the or Draycatchers. Confused my brain. Dragons. Okay, let's keep these aside so I don't have to go find them later. Vengeful Bloodwitch, you actually are probably going in a deck, so I'll throw you off to the side as well. There we go. Tiny Bones is going to be the holder of the rare cards. There we go. Excellent. That way he doesn't even have to steal them, they're just already there. So, anyway, I found a store off base that had starter decks and ended up getting 2 revised starter decks, I think, at the time, because they didn't have any unlimited ones. But I remember seeing packs of, like, Arabian Nights and Legends and all these things, and I'm like, I wish I would have bought some packs. I had singles and cards from them from my first collection, but I don't have that collection anymore, which makes me sad. But, so... I had I had gotten a revised starter deck, and then my brother had gotten one, and then we started playing, and we figured out how to play for the most part, and then with all my singles and extra cards I had, I just ended up basically giving my friends cards so I could make them play. And then, like a slow plague, I contaminated the rest of my friends. Ruined their lives. That is beautiful. The foils have gotten much better, which I appreciate. That is pretty. I'm just gonna put this off over here. This can go over here. It's probably gonna go somewhere, right? I got Banishing Light was reprinted. That's a good removal spell, because it lets you get any non-land permanent, which is pretty great. There are some shitty permanents out there. And with the amount of enchantments that are out there, people have to decide whether they really want their stuff back. Because there's not a lot of... with the amount of enchantments, the amount of removal to get rid of them all is not great. We have a Big Fin Bouncer, who's a shark pirate. Yes, please. He's a shark and a pirate. That makes me very happy. Gnarled Colony, that's a reprint. He's a beastie. A Tranquil Cove. Cat Collector. They made a card of me. I don't know if I'm honored or insulted. I have more cats than this lady, probably, though. Which is saying something. I don't know how many cats are in the artwork, but not enough. But I do need to put Cat Collector in one deck, so we'll throw one aside. Slumbering Cerberus. That is a new card, I do believe. Maybe not, though. It has Morbid, so it might have been during a time I wasn't playing. Or just didn't get as many cards. These full art cards are just so pretty. I don't need borders anymore. Just give me full art, extended art. zoomed in art. Hero's downfall, downshifted. That is pretty, so I'm gonna throw it aside. We have Balmor, the battle captain. He's a bird wizard. He's actually really good. For 2 mana, give all your creatures +1/+0 and they gain trample whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, which is probably going to happen pretty often. We have these wonderful Kamigawa lands. Is Kato just hanging out over here with no shirt on in this lake with his little panda? Interesting. It's Galta, Primal Hunter. Yeah, so after I made all my friends play, which I think some of them still play, that's all we did was play Magic from like a lunch and our binders that we would bring to school. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a token that's a copy of this creature. That's silly. You just make a little army of them. Gonna make a whole little army of Homunculi. Ah, another Spinner of Souls. Excellent. Nothing I love more than duplicates of rare cards in a giant set. Bloodthirsty Conqueror, which is another card we've already gotten, but with different art at least, right? And that art is pretty badass. And we have a Curator of Destinies. Can't be counters, 5/5 Sphinx. Flying, whenever this creature enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library and separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Opponent chooses one of those piles, put that pile into your hand, the other into your graveyard. Let me tell you, I hate making decisions like that. This always makes me angry. I'm like, God damn it, don't pick me to be the person to do it. I don't want to be the person that makes the decision. Don't make me do it. Yeah, so when did I think Ice Age was? Well, Alliances came out like the week before it left Germany and came back to the States. And Alliances, I bought a lot of packs of. Ice Age, I was at that point selling like my singles and stuff to other kids at school and paying for more cards, which was just silly. So I was basically just funding my Magic habit with more Magic cards. So I was getting boxes of Ice Age. I was trying to get that Jester's Cap, you know. But like Alliances, I could not figure out why people were not just like scarfing up Force of Wills and anything that it was like a free spell. Like anybody who would trade me their Force of Wills, I would take. I was like, I don't understand why people are not using these as often as they should be. It's like I don't get it. And then, like, when I finally came back to Magic after a couple years being gone, like, I was like, where? Force of Will was like a $70 card. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, I remember getting these for like 50 cents. Let us go to pack 3. Yeah, so played through Alliances. And then I think I missed a year, like 2000. I think is about the time we moved. Something stupid happened that got in the way that I was keeping me from my Magic cards. Strix Lookout. Oh my gosh, my mouse doesn't want to work. Flying Vigilance. More birdies. I have a Cackling Cyclops, which I think is also a new card. I love Kev Walker's art. Ugh. I need Kev Walker Marvel art, which does exist, so give me that. Wizards, that's what I want. I want a Kev Walker Secret Lair Marvel box. I demand these things. Is that what I do? If I just demand things, give me these things. I demand them. More prowess. I love prowess so much. Elementalist, Adept, Bushwhack. More fight spells. Green loves their fight spells. Which I prefer basic land card, reveal, put a drain on the shuffle. Or fight something. For 1 mana? That seems really good. Seems really decent. A fishing pole. Ooh. And I can make fish? Excellent. That's so silly. It makes bait counters. You can make fish. That's so silly. Tragic Banshee. So it's like a tragic slip. Whenever a creature enters, target opponent controls gets -1, -1 until end of turn. But if a creature died, it gets -13, -13. Except for it's a creature as well, which is a 5/3. Tragic slip is good times. I like anything that gives things negatives, removal-wise. Like, I will take those over most things. Blanchwood Armor, Enchant Creature. Oh, that's a reprint, I think. Might be a reprint. It is, I'm pretty sure. A Braid, I know that's a reprint. Never have enough braids. Another Kamigawa land. Let us see what we got. Another Curator of Destinies. So we've almost gotten 2 of every single rare card that we've drawn so far. That's kind of stupid. Tiny Bones, you're not holding these properly. You're doing a terrible job. He's like, I'm not meant to hold cards. God damn it, stop trying to make me hold cards. I'll make you hold cards because I can. Tell me what to do, Tiny Bones. Zimone, Paradox Sculptor. Another Zimone. Beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 creatures. And then she can tap Simic and tap. Double the number of each kind of counter on up to 2 target creatures and their artifacts. Oh lord. Zimone, stop doubling things. She's a mythic. We have, oh, there she is. That's so cool that she finally got a card. She's on a lot of flavor text. Back from, I think, Ice Age time, around that. Artwork is so good. Ward 2, and I can cast zombie creature spells from my graveyard. Maybe I'll bring my zombie deck back out. I took it apart. I haven't used it in a long time. Mossborn Hydra. Trample. We already have one of these. We already opened it in the first pack, but we didn't have an extended art one. And our last card is a Sky Knight Squire. It's a cat! Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. As long as this creature has 3 or more counters. +1/+1 counters on it. It has flying and is a knight in addition to its other types. That is pretty good, because whenever another creature enters the battlefield, and cats make lots of cats. I imagine I would be making some creatures. I imagine that's a thing. Let's see here. Oh, phones. Copy. Select all. Doobity-doop. Doobity-doop. Apparently I have to make sound effects with everything. That's just the way it is. My brother is having a kid. I have to keep checking my phone just in case. In case it's happening. But what else is going on here? I came back during Mirrodin. After, yeah, so that would have been, what's the last thing? It was after all the Urza sets that we finished. And then there was like one more set after that I stayed with, and then I got a job and had to do things, which was just taking up all my time, so I couldn't actually play Magic, which was stupid. But then me and my partner started playing when Mirrodin was out. So then we played through Mirrodin. We played through most of the Kamigawa block. And then she quit. I was still buying cards at that time, but I wasn't playing, so I was just collecting at that point. So I collected for a couple years until I found more friends that were interested in playing, and then I taught them to play. Also, at some point, there was like a Magic ambassador program back in like 98 or 99 where I taught tons of people Magic. Ugh. Like every time I would teach somebody, they could fill out a survey card and send it in. Hey Max, what's going on? How's it going? I'm just sitting here rambling about my Magic career. uh, the first Magic tournament. This is adorable. Oh. I'm so excited about all the cats that we got, Max. There's so many new cats. But this is a little baby kitten. He's biting the tail. I'm, I'm very easily amused. uh, Hungry Ghoul. I like that art. It's pretty sweet. I'm so excited with the amount of new cats that we got in this. During your turn, creatures you control with +1/+1 counters have first strike. There's some cool knights in this set too. Gleaming Barrier, that's a reprint. I think that was from Ixalan. I know Sure Strike was from Ixalan. Yeah, there is so many new cats. I just want the doubling season. I will probably end up trading something ridiculous just to get the full art version of that. It might be the most adorable Magic card that exists. Like, between the artwork, like the alternate artwork, some of the crazy cards that I just want to build around, and it's such a big set. Like, I'm still building my decks from Duskmourn right now. And I'm like already finding things to add from this into my Duskmourn decks. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're not quite gonna build a foundation deck yet. We're gonna be doing some foundation decks next week on MTGO and see how those work. We're gonna do some commander. Yeah, there's so many like cards that I'm probably gonna have to replace in other decks with newer art, or just make another deck. Oh, Spectral Sailor. I love Spectral Sailor. Oh, they reprinted this too. This is a really good card. And swamps. Are these the Liliana swamps? There's that little tiny bones. There's little tiny bones on this swamp. Apparently, I missed a lot of stuff. Hey, Bear. How you doing this evening? Preposterous proportions. Yep. That's the thing. +10, +10, and vigilance. That's how I would end up going if I lived in a magical world. Get eaten by giant squirrels. I wouldn't even know what was going on. I really like Nine Lives Familiar. The only bad thing is, like, black cats, I can't put in most of my cat decks, so it kind of bums me out. But I love the artwork on this card. It reminds me so much of my Lucifer. He's so silly. I think he's actually yelling at me right now. I can kind of hear him over the headphones. Leyline Axe. If this card is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Crypt creature gets +1/+1, has double strike and trample. That's a thing. that's that's pretty sweet. Yeah, that's really good. I have some decks that will abuse this. Oh, that's really cool. Now I gotta think of where I'm actually gonna put that. I might put it on dog meat, but start out on the battlefield. That's gross. Ashroot Animalist or Animist. Lizards are getting a lot of really good lizards. Trample. When this creature attacks, another target creature you control gains trample and gets +X until end of turn, where X is this creature's power. A 4/4 for 4 with trample. Oh, look at that. The Grave Tide. The foiling in the artwork in this set is just. Ugh. I wish I could artwork like this. Everything just keeps getting prettier and prettier. I spend so much time during games just sitting there looking at my Magic artwork. That's why I like that we have so many different options now, artwork-wise. Like, back in the day, we would occasionally get new artwork for cards. Like Dark Ritual has like a million different artworks, but most cards that got reprinted, if they got reprinted, usually didn't have new artwork. Like, for the most part, Magic prices haven't, like pack wise and things, haven't gone crazily different from what they used to be from like 20 years ago. And a lot of the money goes to the artists and things for new artwork. So at least we're getting things out of it when the prices go up, right? Even though the MSRP is back, which I think had the biggest audience cheering out of everything during the preview panel, which was kind of funny. I remember when it went away, everything went crazy and different and horrible. So hopefully, now that it's back, everything will be back under control. Oh, I don't want to go that direction. Ugh. I hate that I have to go from the back of the pack. Beastkin Ranger. Oh, elves. I just don't like elves and dragons are not my thing. Like they're just like the generic fantasy troop that I'm just like, eh. Witness protection is fantastic. I don't understand why we don't see it as like. There's nothing better than turning somebody's commander into a legitimate businessman. Oh, it's a business person. Was it always a business person? I feel like it was a legitimate businessman before, but now I'm wondering. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to find out. I'll have to go look. So many great cats. Feldar Savior. Lifelink. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each up to 2 other creatures you control. It's really not that bad. Cats are... We're getting lots of cool cats in this set. Spitfire Lagak. Lagak? Lagak. That's fun words to say. Bloodfell Caves. I think I'm going to go play on the pre-release tomorrow. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I am not a super big fan that they did it to all the enchantments just because sometimes, like, enchantment creatures, at least you knew that they were creatures, but now you're going to have enchantments that are hanging out that also look like enchantment creatures. So it's just going to be like, okay, we have to look at the board state more and pay attention more make sure that my enchantments aren't near my creatures, so or at least there's like a barrier or a buffer so people don't get confused by it. That's one of the reasons why I don't like that artifacts went from being brown to being like a whitish, grayish color, because they look like the border of white cards sometimes. And just, at least for me, glancing, sometimes I just am, when I'm putting things in order or sorting through cards, so I'll find white cards with my artifacts or artifacts with my white cards, and I'm like, God damn it. Was I just not paying attention? Did it just look like it was? But then you also have artifacts that have colors, so you have white artifacts. So, yeah, that's a whole thing. It's a me problem, apparently. uh, Ruined sealed wall. Don't see walls very often, at least back in the old days. Even though this wall has Surveil, which is pretty great. I love Surveil. Serra Angel got reprinted. Oh. Is not as terrible. I mean, it kind of is a decent mana value still for what you get for it. I mean, it does have flying and vigilance on a 4/4 for 5. It's really not that bad. Serra Angels did work back in the day. But then somebody would play their Shivan Dragon, and then you're like, blast it. Not as cool. Seismic Rupture. Reassembling Skeleton. Always a good sack outlet. Another little Tiny Bone Swamp. Now I feel like I have to build a Tiny Bones deck and have little Tiny Bone Swamps, right? That's... Everything must be themed. This thing is just stupid. It makes me very happy. Blasphemous Edict is just dumb. You just pay one green or one black rather than the spell's mana cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield. Do you know how often 13 or more creatures are on the battlefield nowadays? All the time. A demonic pact is all fun and games until the build becomes due. That's true. Not only that, forcing each player to sacrifice 13 creatures of their choice. Even if it's their choice, most likely you probably have a Mayhem Devil or something out that's also being used with this thing. Ugh. So gross, so great at the same time. Another Sky Knight Squire, but it is a cat. And it actually is a pretty good cat. Because, I mean, it's just getting ETBs. Or triggers off of ETBs. This is how my luck works with packs. Like other people, they open like mana foils and like all sorts of super awesome stuff, and I just open the same rare cards in the same packs. Do I need 3 Sky Knight Squires right now? No. Do I have them? Yes. Can I lose the game? No, I cannot lose the game. This Herald of Eternal Dawn. 7 mana. Angel with Flash. I do like that it does have Flash, and I can just flash it in and not lose the game. Or stop an opponent from winning the game. I like cards like this. It makes for fun games. I love chaos. I love causing problems. Oh, and a foil version of the Leyline Axe. Well, I guess now I have 2 of them. One of them has to go on Dogmeat. Dogmeat is already bad. It already does stupid things. It already wins me a lot of games anyway. I'm always looking for new equipment cards and enchantments to put in there, though. Oops. Put that over there. Yeah, so when did I come back the next time? I think like the last time I came back, and I haven't left since, was 2009, because 2010 core set would have been coming out, or would have been out during that time, and I think it was like World Wake had just ended. was when I came back the last time, and I've been back since then. Then I think during Innistrad I was just collecting and wasn't playing. And then I came back during Theros, and then I've been playing and collecting since then. I absolutely love cards like that. Like, Everybody Lives is one of my favorite cards that exists. There's nothing better than just throwing everybody's plans out the window. I'm just like, well. It's even better when it's not me that's the one that's going to be killed, and I just do it for somebody else. uh, Cather Commando. Like, I used to use Platinum Angel all the time. Like, not even in Commander decks. I had like a 4 of it, like a normal standard deck. My standard decks didn't win, but I also didn't lose because I had Platinum Angel. Incinerating Blast deals 6 damage to target creature. Then you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. That's not a terrible limited card. I used to make people discard. My discard decks were really gross. It was just basically like Hypnotic Specters and Hymnothorax. Axguard Cavalry. This is just a tiny little goat. I love goats. I got to play with some recently. They're always sweethearts. Like, if you're ever petting a goat, you just get them like right between their horns, and they will just close their eyes, and they're just the happiest. Bite down. I love pygmy goats. We have a lot of friends that have goats around here. A lot of them. If you go like 3 minutes outside the city here, you're like in farmland, hills and farms everywhere around. So most of our friends that don't live in the city area have pets and ducks and gooses and gooses. That's not how you say or geese. I know words. I do like that we're getting more boars too. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a food token, huh? That seems pretty good and has trample. I do like making food tokens. Rogue's Passage. Rogue's Passage I will throw with the rare cards every day. I love Rogue's Passage. We'll put Rogue's Passage in every deck. Even if it's not, I'm not trying to kill you with commander damage, because I don't know how many times the games just get frozen up at like the end and nobody can get through, and Rogue's Passage fixes that issue. Got a Stormkirk Blood Thief. Go over there. We got another Nissa Forest. I don't think we've seen the plains, and I don't think we've seen the mountain. What do we got here? Wayne Reynolds has done a lot of awesome Magic artwork too. Pathfinder. Him and Kev Walker. Actually, I really want a Kev Walker Marvel Secret Lair. And it would be almost stupid for Wizards not to, seeing as they have made freaking Marvel and Magic art for like 30 years. You definitely should. Rogue's Passage should be like, I don't know. It's won me so many games, and it always is useful in some way, whether or not I need to get through to draw a card, or if I need to get through to win the game. Sear Slicer Goblin. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. Oh, so you don't even have to attack with it. You just need to attack. Well, that's not too bad. Ruinscar Demon. You're a classic. You do the things. Let me go tutor. You cost a bazillion mana. Another angel. Exemplar of Light. Artwork is just crazy on these cards. So good. Chris Rain has done a lot of awesome art. I think they had a secret lair at one point. flying. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on this creature, draw a card. Why not? For 4 mana for a 3/3. It's most likely getting bigger probably the turn that I play it anyway. And drawing me a card. Even though it's an angel, I would probably put it in my cat deck. Blasphemous Edict, you make me so happy. This extent, I gotta figure out exactly where I'm gonna put it though. I might put it in Volgavoth. I don't know. Volgavoth is already pretty gross. It just keeps getting stupider. Oh. This is one of those fancy foils. Kellen, Planar Trailblazer. Oops. It has little mana symbols all over it. Ooh. Kellen, you just keep getting cards. And it's all red, huh? Interesting. Is this a reprint? Or is this a... Oh, no, it is a new one. He just becomes a detective. Becomes all the different things that he's already become. The foiling on it is pretty... Very pretty. And then we have... I don't know why I didn't have these out. What is the other one? There's a Suspicious Bookcase is another good one. If you have like lower to the ground creatures or lower cost ones. And there's another one. Yeah, it looks really good in person too. Like it is like the beams of light. It's like a weird rainbowy foiliness to it. But then it has like all the little mana symbols going diagonally. Those are pretty cool. The foiling has definitely gotten better. And the thing is like, my house is very temperature, like, humidity and things I don't allow in my house because my comic books and all that other crap. So, like, things shouldn't curl, but every once in a while, recently, I will have, like, one box of cards that everything will curl, and then all the rest of the set, nothing. I'm like, I don't. It's got to be where they're printed. Something is not not working right. But it is much better than it used to be. Let's see here. Bacon to a pie. I do enjoy bacon to a pie. It's not the best kill spell, but it makes a food token, and it goes in, like I have it in Agatha and like my witch decks. Things that it should go in. Argerite Wizard. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter. Fleeting Flight. Interesting. Oh, it's a fog. Instant, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It can't flying until end of turn. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to it this turn. Okay. Well, it's still not terrible to save a creature. Oh, Giant Growth. This would have been like 2008-ish. I feel like it was one of the Giant Growths earlier on. Swiftwater Cliffs. Mischievous Mystic. But next to Mischievous Mystic, Mischievous Pup. Do you think they go together? Are they best friends? Oh, so there's different... Yeah. And it's like some of the bundles I've had that happen to where, like, the lands are already curled. Like, I haven't even opened them. I'm like, well, okay. Sweet. Awesome. Zombify, which is actually a pretty good return spell. And 4 mana to bring something back from the graveyard. That hasn't been reprinted in a long time, I don't think. Oh, this Youthful Valkyrie artwork. Oh my gosh. Youthful Valkyrie does a lot of work in my Angel deck. But this artwork, oh, that is just, ugh. I like that some of the common cards and uncommon cards are actually getting like the full art versions too. So if you wanted to like fully bling out your deck, you actually can, and have full art versions of uncommons and commons. Oh, Chandra's on the mountains, obviously, I guess. That would make sense. Chandra is the red mage. The main red mage. High Fate Trickster. Flash, flying. You may cast spells as though they had flash. Do you like to cast spells as though they have flash? Is this a reprint, or is this a new one? I'm going to have to check and see, because it doesn't sound... It sounds familiar, but it doesn't look familiar. What? Sad Robot? They reprinted this? Yeah, that artwork is... Some of this artwork... Oh, yay, a third curiosity, or a curator of destinies. Which is basically just a factor fiction on a creature. Yay! I was really hoping I got this. The full art. 9 lives familiar. It looks like my little Shuri. And my Batty Cat. Just a big poof ball. Poof ball. I just get excited about cat cards. I just want the doubling season. That's all I want. And a Banner of Kinship. Interesting. It has Bloomburrow art on it. As this artifact enters, choose a creature type. Cats. This artifact enters with a fellowship counter on it for each creature you control the chosen type. Creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter on this artifact. Yep, that's a thing. That's not gonna kill people. It's like a Cather's Crusade that just automatically goes off. You just throw a bunch of counters on it. That's so gross. Yes, I am glad, because, like, I did end up actually just replacing most of the cards that were not fitting with Bloomburrow. Like, I usually build my theme decks anyway, but I was like, oh, these don't really fit. I was like, I mean, they fit, like, mechanic-wise, and will do the thing, but I would rather have the flavor than do the thing, so... I'm like, I'm just gonna remove these, and this has some animals in it. I'll put it in here. What is this? This is pack number... Math. Pack number math. We have 5 packs left, so this would be pack 8? Would this be pack 8? Yeah, it would be pack 8. I swear, math. Simple math is where you get me. Gorehorn Raider. I am glad that Minotaurs are actually getting more creatures, just because Minotaurs, Dwarves, they all really got... They had cards back in early Magic, but none of them were good. A Dazzling Angel. Oh, whenever another creature you control enters. Interesting. That's actually... It's like a Soul Sister, but for angels. Do like that. White Shell Duo. You like literally were just in a set. Throw of Possibility. It's always interesting because, like, I don't know why we literally just had this 2 sets ago. feel like you could put something else there. I don't know. What do I know? Throw a possibility. Always good. Always does the thing. Broken wings. There's so many enchantments running around. I can't say anything because I built so many enchantment decks, but I will. I do continue complaining that there are too many enchantments and just not enough removal to get rid of them. Grappling Kraken, Needle Tooth Pack. That's like fighting against Bellow is such a pain in the butt because if your deck doesn't have ways to get rid of enchantments, like mass quantities of enchantments or mass quantities of artifacts, Bellow will just run you over. But then you don't want to build the deck just to fight against one person. So if you put a bunch of... Also, I don't want to be the person who destroys everybody's artifacts or destroys everybody's enchantments. Needle Tooth Pack. Morbid at the beginning. Insta. If a creature died this turn, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. Oh, dinosaurs. I feel like this is a reprint. But it might be a downshift. I don't know. An offer you can't refuse. Always take more offers you can't refuse. It is an offer I can take. Oh, so the planes are Capenna, huh? That's interesting. I wonder if that's Giada on the train over there. Or just an angel. Atali. Primal Storm. At this point, I'm pretty sure that Atali is just like a staple to red decks. Oh, Aura Shards. Like, I like Aura Shards when I have Aura Shards, but like the last time somebody had Aura Shards out, I was playing my dog meat deck on stream and they just wouldn't let me do anything. So I just sat there and I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna sit here because I literally just could not do anything. I could. Oh, Alesha, who laughs at fate. I have started doing the sketching to actually make this costume for Chicago. We'll see how that works out. I feel more comfortable working with leather than I do with, like, sewing. I might try my hand a little bit more at sewing this time, but at least leather sewing I can handle. Oh, well, Lasha, what am I going to do with you? Probably silly things. You're probably going a couple of decks at least. Oh, this little homunculi horde. It's just so cute. They're ugly little cute guys. I don't know. Just they always do remind me of Mike Wazowski there. Oh, this is just what we needed was another coma, huh? Not only that, this coma is bigger than the last coma. And it can't be countered. And it has Ward 4 and Trample. And when it deals combat damage to a player, create 4/3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Como Coil. For 6 mana and Simic, it's like turn 4. Oh, look at this Phyrexian Arena. That's pretty sweet. Definitely, it looks like an alien from Aliens. Which Phyrexians look like that anyway, but like. I remember we knew that Koth was still alive because they had reprinted Phyrexian Arena with Koth fighting down in the arena. That's how we used to learn things every once in a while. Yeah, it is very like if I didn't know it was a magic card and like I had this covered up and this covered up, I'd be like, "Is there a new Alien game? Sweet!" Like it's clearly a xenomorph. Aliens are one of the best designed creatures that exist out there. Like Geiger's art, I would, if we ever get like aliens in Magic, which we possibly could, because Disney owns Fox. So, well, I could always possibly have them. I need Geiger artwork, like super, or like a hive border. I don't know, cool stuff. Fleeting distraction, a vampire soul collar. Interesting. Refute. Counter target spell, draw a card, and then discard a card. I said no. I can go in a bird deck. Macabre Waltz. Classic Magic artwork. Thornwood Falls. Oh, yeah. Basically, slivers are aliens. That's like Tyranids, Zerg, aliens, and slivers. I was really hoping that Tyranids would be like slivers when they actually made them in Magic World. Strongbox Raider. Orcs are another creature type we don't have a lot of good versions. I don't think we'll ever get Warhammer Orcs just because they would have a K instead of a C, and that would just mess everything up, right? Just be like, these are both orcs. Just spelled differently. Whenever this engine... Oh yeah, this is a reprint. What am I... I know what you do. Fire Spitter Whelp. And oh, that's gross. Because dragons aren't already a problem. Just 1 damage to each opponent. Ugh. This might actually be good in Volgovoth too, because I could make people lose life during their turns by doing non-creature spells. I just don't have as many dragons. Well, maybe I do have a dragon in Volgovoth, but I'm knocking stuff over. Island. I swear I already had seen islands. I don't remember seeing Zamone on the island last time, though. Flamewake Phoenix. They keep making more Phoenixes. Which, eventually... Oh my gosh, not another Niv Mizzet. Blast you, Niv Mizzet. Damn it, Niv Mizzet. I lost very terribly to Niv Mizzet last night. Oh, another Phyrexian Arena. And, oh, this card is so pretty. Celestial Armor. Has Flash. Whenever this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. The creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and has flying. And I love that it's a surprise card to protect my commander. I'm probably going to end up actually putting this in Plate Paws and in Dogmeat. It's both the ways. Those are both like decks where I need to protect my commander most of the time. Oh, that artwork is so pretty. he does go infinite with himself, which is just terrible. Sphinx's Tutelage. Special version with the Theros border. Oh, Dathan Angle did this. Maybe draw a card. Target opponent mills 2 cards. If 2 non-land cards with shared color were milled this way. No, this is a reprint. Why am I setting a reprint? I know what this does. Wait a second. This sounds familiar. I was playing against Tom's Niv Mizzet deck yesterday, and he's just like, I'm going to play Curiosity. You're going to respond? I'm like... I picked up his Curiosity and I threw it across the room. That was my response. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, if I damage your card, I'll give you another one. One card combo me. I was like, I have no way to counter that. I was like, I'm in Rakdos. There's like one or two black counter spells, and then like Tybalt's Trickery. Like, that's about all I can do about this. Oh no, not this rabbit. I imagine he's probably gonna be worth money because everybody's going to need a bazillion of him. I don't like building decks where I have as many of a card in the deck because I never put enough, or I don't, or I put too many. Whenever this creature attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and gain 1 life. That's actually pretty good. Common. Wary Thespian. Actually, Tom, I literally just pulled a Niv Mizzet out of the last pack. We were just talking about Niv Mizzet, actually. And going how they go infinite with themselves, and also how Tom played Curiosity against me, and I threw it the other yesterday. Did you know I was talking about you, Tom? Is that what happened? Eaten alive. Blossoming Sands. Imprisoned in the Moon got downshifted, and actually, we'll throw that over here because we will probably be put in decks. I hate my commander being turned into a land. It makes me sad. But now it's going to happen more because it's been reprinted. That's what I don't like when things are reprinted, because now then everybody has it. And then I'm like, no, now there's more of these I have to worry about. Seeker's Folly. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Hazuku's Second Right. What is this? Target player has exactly 10 life. Hazuku's Second Right deals 10 damage to that player. How weird. Are there any ways that I can make things just have 10 life and then shoot them for 10? Part of me is like, I just want to put it in a deck so that I can do it at one time. So somebody can just be like, really? Oh yeah, Sorin does just make people's life just 10. The one Planeswalker one. Oh, Ajani's Pridemate will always be a classic and always do its thing. Oh, so there are other ones. Who's in this one? Somebody's in the tree up there. I can't tell who it is. Looks like they have a shield on their back or something. I'm assuming it's a legendary creature of some sort. Ah, it's Loot, the exuberant explorer. I'm trying to... Do I want to put Loot in Omo? I love my Omo deck. It just is stupid. It's just... It's... I feel like my turns take too long and I'm just playing with myself. And I'm just like, well, this isn't fun for anybody else. I used this a lot during Standard when I was there. Double Strike, Vigilance, and Trample. It's only a 1-1, but if you pump it up... Oh, yeah! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I was started thinking about Commander, but yeah, I would put it in a red deck. Yeah. I'm gonna have to test that out. Oh, preposterous proportions. The one copy of it has a bunch of squirrels. The extended edition has a bunch of giant lemurs. But does Magic... I think we have lemurs, but they might be beasts. Another Leyline Axe. Apparently they just really want me to have... I have 3 copies of Leyline Axe, and all 3 of them are different versions of those. Leyline Axe is silly. And we have a Rite of the Dragon Caller. Mythic foil. If you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token. As one does. Tom, you should put this in Bellow. You should come and play Standard with me. I'll play. I enjoy playing with other people when I can talk to them and I know them. Like over Arena or over Magic Online. Okay, we got 2 more packs left. Yeah. Only time I'll play Standard for a little while, and it's usually if I'm playing on Arena. And I never can make the decks I want to play on Arena, so it just... whatever cards I have, I make a deck, and it's usually a red deck, because this is usually the only thing you can build. Ugh. Ugh, Tom. Stop doing gross stuff. Goblin Borders. Oh, Goblin Pirates. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter if you attack. It's really not that bad. Then you would get a 4/3 for 3. It's not terrible. Oh, this Refute is pretty... Ugh. These full arts are just so pretty. They make me happy. Like, even full art commons and uncommons, I usually just put in my rare binders, because I'm like, oh, if I find a deck to put it in. I feel like this is a reprint, but maybe not. Reach, Death Touch. You can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That seems really good. I like things like Scale that I can upgrade if I need to. And it's not just it that you can put the +1/+1 counter on. You can put it on anything. I mean, you can only do it as a sorcery, but still. Interesting. I might have to put that in my Shalope deck. I'm always looking for new spiders. Still trying to figure out if Spider-Man's going to be a spider. He should be a spider. So many Spider-Man villains and Spider-Man characters are genetically modified. So I would assume, I would imagine, like, Dr. Octopus wouldn't be an octopus. It would be a scientist human. But, like, Spider-Man should be a spider human, right? Whereas, like, I mean, is Rhino... I mean, Rhino's wearing a hide, but he can't take the hide off. I don't know. I do a lot of thinking about these things. Unimportant things. Jungle Hollow. Spider Human Hero, yeah. Now that hero is going to be a thing. But then, how many things are heroes? Like, there's tons of Magic characters that are heroes, right? And there's all sorts of Magic people that are villains. So I feel like hero is such a term that, I mean, one person's hero could be a villain, right? I don't know. Felling Blow. Swifty Boots. Look at these shiny Swifty Boots. These might be the fancy boots that Dogmeat gets. Dogmeat loves his fancy clothing. Oh, Gold Fortune Unicorn, which I actually do need a copy of this for my pony deck. Yes. I unfortunately only have one Doctor Strange counter spell. I tried to get my hands on more of them, but yeah. People were not receptive to trades. These are Johnny Plains. I might have to get more of these for my cat deck. Unfortunately, we only pulled one so far. Oh, Painful Quandary. I can't say anything because I did put it in Volcapod. So gross. Omnipotence. I'll never use you for anything. You're just here. Yay! It's a Boru. The first thing. I needed that for my kitty deck. So, that's exciting. Other cats get +1/+1. Whenever it or another non-token cat enters, I get more cats. Give me all them cats. Banner of Kinship will also probably go on my cat deck. Wish there was cats on it instead of mice. But I guess my cats need something to eat, right? And a Seer Slicer Goblin is the last card in that pack. Which does have really awesome artwork. It just, I don't know. Well, I guess it actually is really good for like a red deck if you're just attacking constantly. And then you're just making extra goblins, which just gives you more things to attack with. Yeah, that's okay. We'll see. We'll test it out. Okay, we have one more pack left. And we still haven't pulled a doubling season, so pretty bummed. Yeah, the banner is really good. I prefer this banner over Coat of Arms. Coat of Arms is just dangerous. I imagine there's a lot of really good goblins. Like Return to or Murders at Karlov Manor had, what was it, a Rift Bender? It was something that was a really good goblin. And then there's the Scamp or whatever from March of the Machines, which was really good, and that people are finally using. Like, I was testing it out when I had it first come out, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then nobody was using it, and I was like, maybe it's not really good. Maybe I'm just making things up. Think Twice. Elfsworn Giant. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 elf warrior creature token, huh? That's really good, and there's a lot of stuff that would be really good in, like, not standard, but limited. Oh, Raid. Gutless Plunder. Wonder if this is the same guy who is Pitiless. Skeletons are weird. Like in Magic, for some reason, like skeleton tokens are like 4/1s for some reason. Yeah, this giant is really good. 5 mana for a 5/3 with reach that makes more creatures. Anything that you get extra value out of, where you're getting extra creatures and things, usually is pretty good. Burst Lightning. I remember Burst Lightning. The little star symbol keeps confusing me. I feel like it looks like some other symbol that was another Magic symbol at some point. But I might just be imagining that. What do we got? Another Dismal Backwater. A Dragon Trainer. And there's the battlefield. Create a 4/4 dragon creature token with flying. That's interesting. But you could flicker it and get more dragons. Dreadwing Scavenger. Nightmare Bird. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, draw a card, and then discard a card. Threshold. This creature gets +1/+1 and has Death Touch as long as there are 7 more cards in the graveyard. Threshold is so easy to get. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. That there was one that was very similar looking. They downshifted Dynan. She's really good. Oh, Burnished Heart. Never have enough of you. Oh, we got one of the Liliana Swamps. I had a Liliana deck that was just all the Lilianas, which I'll probably rebuild at some point. Another Banner of Kinship. There's like 397 cards in this set, and I'm pretty sure we have seen a lot of these rares multiple times. I am contemplating. Do you know what time it is at, Tom? Slagstorm they reprinted. I actually didn't know this was a card until like last year, and when we drafted the new Phyrexia block. We had gone to Pinfinity. They had gotten boxes of the 3 sets from uh, new Phyrexia block, and yeah, we got to play with some weird cards that I didn't get to play with when they were out. Lunar Insight. Draw a card for each different mana value among non-land permanents you control. For 3 mana, you could draw a lot of cards if you had the right amounts of mana out. Oh. Valkyrie's Call, which is very pretty. Oops. Whenever a non-token, non-angel creature you control dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. +1/+1 counter on it. Has flying and is an angel in addition to its other types. That's pretty awesome. Actually, I would just... This would go really good in my cat deck. Damn it. Just bring all my cats back as cat angels. Okay, let's see what our last card is. Is it something awesome? It is not something awesome. It is not a doubling season. At the beginning of your end step, choose one. It's at 1 o'clock. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Wasn't this just in the set? Like, Bloomburrow? Or I can create a 3/3 raccoon creature token if I control a creature with power 4 or greater. I guess that's kind of cool. It's an interesting 3 mana enchantment. I'm surprised it doesn't actually let you put like 3 +1/+1 counters. Green loves doing things overabundantly. Okay, so that is that. So, you usually only get like one of these mana etched cards in each box, or whatever the special card type is, because I think on Duskmourn I ended up getting the Overlord of the Billow, or the Boiler Bilges? And, oh, the foiling on that thing is so good. Is it a new card? It just looks like it's from Josh. You know what? It's probably going to go in my raccoon deck. That's like most of these cards that have any kind of flavory theme to it. I am kind of glad that I did get as many of these Banner of Kinships that I did get, because, I mean, I built so many theme decks that it pretty much goes in almost any of those decks. But I will probably end up putting them in like my Squirrel deck and my Mouse deck and all my Bloomburrow decks I built. We did get some of the cards that we did want for our Kitty deck, so at least that's that. And we can start changing out our... I do have the Kitty Plains that came with the Cat and Dog deck, though, so... Is it the Plains that... I want to say it's the Plains and the Forest that have... No, the Plains have both dogs and cats on them. The Forest have just cats, and the Mountains have just dogs, I want to say. I know there's... We do have a lot of cards that we are going to be putting in decks, which I should probably do at some point. I am very excited about this Celestial Armor. Dog Meat got a lot of cool cards today. Sorry, Tom. This Coma is just... I can't build a Simic deck and it not just do the same thing every time. Like, it just cannot. It will always do the same thing. Oh, we did get a lot of cool stuff. Okay, we have a lot of things that we're going to be doing some upgrades. Like my Angel deck definitely needs this Youthful Valkyrie in it. And there was a couple of other cool Angels. Blasphemous Edict is just... I love it. It makes me very happy. I like anything that like makes people sacrifice things or gives creatures -X, -X. Those are my board wipes. This Leyline Axe, ugh, so shiny. Yeah, there's a couple cool angels. Even though, like, I'm gonna do stupid things with this Herald of Eternal Dawn. I mean, I have to keep like 7 mana up, but it'll be worth it to do something silly. Thanks for coming and hanging out, Tom. I'm about to head to bed as well. I was sleepy before I started D&D, and then we finished D&D, and I was like, you know what? I need to do this. Let's just do this. Otherwise, I'm just gonna sit in bed and be like, I should just go open that. Thanks for hanging out with me, Tom and Mox. I appreciate it. I will probably be going to pre-release tomorrow, but I will let you know for sure. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Is there anybody on? I was gonna see if there's anybody to raid. I know it's late, so maybe not. Oh, are they actually on still? I mean, if they are on, we'll go visit our Booster Boxing League friends here. Oh, they are on. Haha. Okay, viewers, we're going to go visit the Filthy Casuals. They are one of our foundation ambassadors. Actually, the two of them are one of our the words are hard. Foundation's ambassadors. But they are also lovely friends. You all know them. I'll let them know we say hi when we get over there. They're building decks out of booster boxes, which is always fun. One of my favorite things to do. That's what I did with my Dustborn box. Is I just made a deck. I made a Nashi deck. I was like, I'm just going to use the cards that came out of this box, and this is the deck I'm making. But it was wonderful to see you again, Mox. It's been a little while, but we got to get some games, and I will hopefully have my schedule here built. I've been so busy that I just it's been hard to find time and just like nail it down. So, but everybody, take care of yourselves and have a good pre-release weekend. If I don't see you or hear from you the rest of the weekend, and yeah, say hi to Jen and Donnie when we get over there. Tell Donnie eat a poop. Yes, I am heading over to Blue Sky more than I was before. I need to actually like keep up on it because I don't want to be on the bird app. Okay, I gotta go before this raid thing ends. Ah, later, guys.